Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is my spoiler-free review for Ma. I've just come back from watching it. It stars Octavia Spencer, Diana Silvers, Juliette Lewis, directed by Kate Taylor and written by Scotty Landis. This is a really fun psychological horror. I had a lot of fun with this one. It gave me a really great false sense of security at the beginning, which is something I always look out for in horrors. I like to be drawn in, I like to be played with, kind of like the cat with the yarn. And then when the horrors begin to really to arise and the scares begin to hit the screen, I tend to find that it has the best possible effect. That kind of slow build and then kind of release of information, and kind of as it all kind of begins to ensue and all sorts of fun begins to happen. And boy, does Octavia Spencer have a lot of fun in this title role as Sue-Ann, and then later on she's referred to as Ma by the children that she sort of greets and entices back to her home to basically ensue in these sort of little small or in the beginning small parties, and then they begin to kind of escalate with other kids kind of arriving from the local sort of towns or neighborhoods. This is a kind of a interesting surprise. I wasn't expecting a kind of a horror to pop up at this time, but hell, why not? It's summertime. There should be horrors happening in the cinema. It's a good time to unleash them. And Ma will particularly have you sort of chopping at the bit to find out more. It's a really kind of strange blend of kind of, dare I say, Twin Peaks and kind of a retroactive Revenge of the Nerds. The title character of Sue-Ann, played by Octavia Spencer, is an introverted lady who grew up in a small town with lots of kids from her local high school, obviously all of which are now fully grown up and adults and have their own particular lives and their own children. And we begin to kind of understand her reasoning for wanting to sort of reconnect with them, this kind of very ominous way of sort of reaching out to children in the town, which some of them are related to the kids that she went to school with. And you begin to understand that she has set up this kind of strange psychological plan or game or action to sort of draw them into her world and sort of entice them to her house with, in the beginning, what is just alcohol, but then later on it's kind of more kind of like an attachment, kind of like a strange kind of catfish, where she's wanted to kind of vicariously live out the pleasures of watching them have fun in her basement. And boy oh boy, all of that is really, really creepy. It's kind of on the edge, kind of veering towards that kind of psychological idea of will she, won't she? Sorry, why is she kind of drawing them into her house? What's happening? It does drop some really good questions, and you'll want to stay to the end to find out why that is. Unfortunately, some of those answers you get are great. Other parts of those are not. Unfortunately, it kind of goes more into that kind of realm of the silly. I was having a lot of fun with it, and then there was a particular point where I remember thinking, okay, she has all these kids' numbers, she's constantly texting them, and she's turning up at their school. Why is CCTV, why is no one talking about this lady? Like, Sue-Ann is just turning up at your school, and no one's going to ask a teacher, hey, who's that woman who just keeps sort of turning up at break time? Like, why is she here? Is she part of the cafeteria team? Is she your teacher? Who is she? Like, no one's asking that question. But okay, it's a psychological horror. There's a kind of a few missteps to be had there, but you kind of want a bit more grounded sense of realism sometimes at times, and this film does deliver it on the whole. But unfortunately, I would have wanted a bit more of a stronger script. I wanted something to kind of take me further into that ride and sort of unravel and sort of find out deeper and deeper as to kind of more of the psychological kind of plans and sort of manipulations that Sue-Ann has for the townspeople in the story. We do get to go kind of behind the scenes in her house, and at one point, without giving too much away, some of the party dwellers do kind of veer off or try and sneak into other parts of her home after she expressly warns them on the first visit that that's one of the first ground rules of coming to Mars is, you all know, you don't go upstairs, you don't go travelling into her house and finding out kind of what's kind of lurking behind the walls of her other rooms within her home. And that's all absolutely excellent, and it's some of the best tight cameraing and delivery I've seen, where they're sort of travelling through this house, and you're kind of seeing more and more gradually, slowly but surely, you're going to open up and expand into the house and see more of what's happening and more of Sue-Ann's sort of misgivings. I don't want to say too much. Like I said, this is spoiler free, but I will definitely say that Octavia Spencer, she carries this film excellently. She is awesome as the title character Sue-Ann. She does everything to sort of draw you in, and you do feel sympathy for her at the beginning. Like I said, there is that kind of retroactive Revenge of the Nerds. You can tell she's been through a lot, and she is kind of crying out for attention and kind of company. She seems to be lonely. She's working at this late stage of her life now in a veterinarian's, and she does seem very upset and unhappy. And she has a very mean boss who kind of tells her off all the time. Get off your phone and go back to work. And she doesn't seem fulfilled. She doesn't seem satisfied. It's not the life that she'd always dreamed of. And that's also a very excellent, great parallel to Maggie, the title character played by Diana Silvers, who comes into this town after moving there with her mother, played by Juliette Lewis, from California, and she's having to, Juliette Lewis's character is raising Maggie as a single parent, and there's a really good parallel there between Maggie's character, the sort of the new outsider into the town, as she sort of tries to make friends with the local high schoolers and go to school and, you know, kind of fit in, and what Sue-Ann went through the sort of hinted at flashbacks that we get from through the film from her character. And that's all really excellent, but I just don't feel with Ma, as you begin to see, if you get a chance to see it, or if you have seen it, please do let me know what you think. I don't feel the kind of payoff kind of landed just right with this one. I kind of feel it could have gone a bit deeper, kind of maybe a bit more darker, rather than relying on kind of going a bit silly. I thought at times they kind of resorted sort of pulling some sort of slapstick where she's sort of just appearing on the phone and sort of saying, "Hey, it's 5 o'clock, always somewhere. You know, you got a party, come and see me." And I feel like that kind of ruined the mood a bit. I wanted to stay in that kind of scary zone where you're kind of enticed and drawn in, like she did at the beginning, where she sort of goes to seemingly very happy to sort of go and get alcohol for these kids and invite them back to her house. Why is she doing this? How is this happening? Questions, which is brilliant. And then we kind of get most of the answers that we were kind of expecting, but I just don't feel it landed, didn't land hard enough for me. I thought it was a really good commentary and a great parallel between being an outsider and an introvert. I just feel they could have done so much more with that. Overall, I'm probably going to give this one at least a solid 6.5. Do check it out if you're kind of fancying or you're starving for a horror right now at the moment. How does it kind of measure up to, say, the likes of the recent Us and Get Out? I don't feel it's as strong. Probably maybe one even wait for at home to watch on streaming or download or grab on a DVD. But if you are, like I said, hungry for a horror right now, you can't go too wrong with Ma. Please let me know though if you have seen it already. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're kind of on the fence about it, I would say maybe wait for something a bit stronger towards the latter half of the year. I mean, It Chapter 2, it's coming soon. We know it's going to happen, but obviously in the meantime, you can't go too wrong with Ma if you just want a kind of fast kind of junk food type horror. Okay, let me know what you think. I'd always like to hear your guys' feedback as well. Please leave a comment, like the video or don't like it. Please let me know how you're feeling. Always great to get your feedback as well. Please continue to support, watch the channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now.